Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Blog Talk Radio.
Are you ready for this? Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. It's Wednesday, January 22nd, 2014, and welcome to the BCS Experience, History, Arts, Culture, Politics in Review and Discussion. I'm Byron C. Saunders, your host with the most. The BCS Experience takes a look at our rich history, African American history. We're going to share with you some known and unknown historical facts and information from the past and connect the dots on how they have impacted on our present day events and how they will definitely shape our future as African Americans in this country and around the world. The BCS Experience, History, Arts, Culture, Politics in Review and Discussion. This is Internet Radio and will be aired live every Wednesday from 5 to 6 p.m. from the studios of the BW Moving Images on the GoPro Radio Network. You know, I'm really excited about this opportunity to talk to you all across the country and around the globe. I want you to tune in every week on your computer or your telephone. I want you to become a loyal listener, and I personally invite you to lend your voice to this radio talk show to express your opinions on my weekly topics. This is social network radio at its finest. Now here's the number for you to call in to be a part of the discussion. Call 347-884-9839. Once again, that number to call is 347-884-9839. Now, this week's topic, the importance of supporting black female filmmakers and broad spectrum of narratives of the black American experience. Oh my goodness, this is going to get a little deep here this evening. Hey, my show is the New Underground Railroad. Next stop is your neighborhood. All aboard to freedom and freedom land. Well, before we meet tonight's guest, let's give a little bit of black history that's very, very important to understand the shoulders this woman stands upon. The date, it's Friday. It's September the 12th, 1873. You see, Madame Sulte Wan, an African-American actress, was born on this date in 1873. Wan was the first black woman contracted to appear in one of the most controversial films in American cinematic history, Birth of a Nation. Born in Louisville, Kentucky, her real name was Nellie Conley. Young Conley helped her widowed mother, a washerwoman who worked for actresses. She delivered laundry to stars at the stage door and was often allowed inside to see the shows. The following day, she would rehearse the act at school in front of classmates, avowing that she too would be an actress someday. Now, she played the historical figure Tituba, the powerful, misunderstood victim of the Salem witch hunts in Maid of Salem, made in 1937. And you see, for over 50 years, Wan played in a number of silent films and many award-winning features as well. Some of them include Tarzan and the Trappers, 1958, Witch Woman, Carmen Jones, 1954, which was unaccredited, Carmen's Grandma, Sullivan's Travels, 1942, unaccredited. That means she didn't get her name in the credits. Church Organist, Maryland, 1940. Naomi, Tell No Tales, 1939, again unaccredited. Jim Alley's Mother, in Old Chicago, both shot in 1937 and released. Hattie, she appeared in King Kong 1933, unaccredited, so did quite a few African Americans in that film. Uncle Tom's Cabin 1927, another unaccredited appearance. Slave, Birth of a Nation 1915, unaccredited, and A Black Woman. Other films were Rhapsody in Blue, 1945, Mighty Joe Young, 1949, Carmen Jones, 1954, Something of Value, 57, The Buccaneer, 1958, and of course Porgy and Bess, 1959. And after a stage and film career of over 70 years, Madame Sulte Wan died on February 1st, 1959. Wow. And I bet you if you see her picture that's posted there now, you would recognize her. Sometimes she had a corncob pipe in her mouth, other times with a bandana, but you knew it was her. Well, I want to hear from you. Let's connect the dots and make sense out of it all. Let's talk. Call me, 347-884-9839. Well, tonight, I have a very special guest that's joining me here in the Chocolate Studios as a call-in guest. And joining me is none other than Riyan Fergins, is a writer, performing artist, and filmmaker. Good evening, Riyan. Welcome to the BCS experience. How are you?
Hi, Byron.
Well,
How
welcome.
are you?
Well, that's great. It's so nice to have you on board. Happy New Year to you. And
Happy New Year.
Why, thank you, my
Happy
friend.
New Year.
Well, let me just tell everybody
I'm-
a little bit about you so that they can get a sense of your connection to that piece of history that I opened with. Riyan Fergins is a writer, performing artist, and filmmaker. She was raised in Bethesda, Maryland. She's a homegirl for me. Lived the fame lifestyle at Duke Ellington High School of the Performing Arts and graduated from Emerson College. And by the age of 21, she'd won and placed in multiple playwriting competitions, appeared on major public stages, and launched a small circulation literary and arts magazine, BSRM, in Boston, of all places. Now, here's where it gets real interesting. She's got pedigree, too. She is the niece.
Oh, no.
Yes, oh, yes. She is the niece of James Brown of CBS Sports. Yeah, y'all know him. Come on, Super Bowl Sunday coming up. Y'all know that figure, James Brown. And great-granddaughter of Milton Barnes, owner of the Hattiesburg Black Sox Negro League baseball team, as well as the Hi-Hat nightclubs in Mississippi and New Orleans, where a young B.B. King used to play, and the eponym of streets Milton Barnes Avenue and Barnes Circle, where he built the homes lining them. Her mother, not to forget the woman behind the great man, Alicia Brown, was a VP at Oracle Corporation. Now, Riyan, listen to that. You are standing on some serious shoulders, my friend. Okay?
I know, and it's so hard. I try not to think about it as I live day to day with my struggles, because I just think, what was my mother doing at this age? And where was she at this time? It's so difficult now. So yeah, I try not to. I'm so grateful to come from a line of hard workers and people who found success through hard work, but it can be daunting to think about it every day.
Yes.
So
why,
I try not to.
So why film? What led you to this particular place? As you heard me talk about Madame Sulte Wan.
Yeah, I love those facts about her. I didn't know any of those things.
Yes.
And Birth of a Nation, that's a serious film.
Isn't it? I mean, really, it is the quintessential piece that defined for America as the turn of the century, those moving images, which they used to be called.
It still tops. It still tops all the filmmaking lists.
That's right.
As one of the best films in the country, because of the subject matter and because of what they achieved with cinematic technology.
Yes, that's right. And the fact that it exposed and well, not so much as exposed as it shared with the rest of the country the really sad part of racism, in which the Ku Klux Klan honored and revered in this film, and I mean, it showed them in their glory, burning the cross in their hoods, showing them how powerful that they were during the Jim Crow years. So we come back to young Ryan. Young Ryan from
Yes, I'll answer the question.
Yeah, absolutely. Graduating from the
why
Duke
filmmaking?
Ellington. Yes, why filmmaking?
Well, you know what's so funny, Byron? I didn't want to be a filmmaker.
Ah, okay.
At all.
Okay.
At all. I started out very young dancing. Dance is what I wanted to do. Then I got involved in acting, and I just grew up in a very artistic environment.
Yes.
So one thing that I always say is that there's no such thing as a one-dimensional artist.
Yes.
That we're all multifaceted. Even if you know us in one venue, we're probably working on things in another venue.
Absolutely.
Writing was also something that just has been a part of my trajectory for a long time.
Okay.
Pretty much fiction writing and poetry, things that you pick up and read, and you create your own movie
Yes.
while absorbing the language and the text. However, at some point in college, I started to moonlight in the film department. I really felt an affinity toward filmmakers. I love their culture. I was at Emerson studying theater and acting, and my minor was writing.
Okay.
So I found that I got along more with the filmmakers than I did fellow thespians.
All right. No problem.
There's just a different attitude about getting down to work and getting the work done. And even though there's definitely a level of ego with filmmakers, it's not the same kind of ego that you do see haunt theatrical circles.
Yes. Well.
So it's a different creative spirit. So I found a couple of professors who didn't mind talking to me after class, and I bounced some projects off of them, and I just kept that in my back burner. I learned how to edit. I learned how to edit old time on a Steenbeck. I learned how to edit film. The Steenbeck is this little guillotine machine where you actually cut film.
Cut and tape.
We don't do it anymore.
No, we don't cut and tape anymore. No.
Yeah, we have Final Cut now.
That's
so
right.
we don't do that. But I learned, and I had people who were really willing to take me under their wing, but even still having this knowledge, I was really ignorant and bullheaded, and I said I didn't want to do it. And it wasn't until I graduated, and oddly enough, I ended up having a conversation with Bill Cosby.
Yes.
Don't ask how that happened, but I ended up having a conversation with him, and I had just gotten off of shooting a film, a very small part in a film, after being in New York for 3 months. So I was excited about this, and I wanted to jump into auditioning and doing more work. And I was finding that all of the pieces I was auditioning for were just terrible, in my opinion, terrible.
Okay.
Now, my perspective years later is different.
Yes.
And I'll talk a little bit more about that. But to me, it was just minstrelsy. I didn't want to do it.
Okay.
And Cosby said to me, basically, you are a writer, and that's something that you've done. You can tell a story. There are stories that you want to see out there. You should be writing them yourself.
Absolutely.
You should be writing them and performing in them and making people see just what a universe you have inside of you and showing it to the world.
It's
you
wonderful.
Should be doing this.
It's wonderful to be mentored by.
Mm-hmm.
It's wonderful to be mentored by such greatness, and to have
I think
words
it's
of
wonderful.
wisdom and shared with you in a manner that said, listen, I'm just going to give you a piece of information here that may take you a long way in this business. Listen, I got another caller on the line. We got 2 minutes before the break. Let me bring this caller in. Good evening. Welcome to the BCS experience. And who might you be on 718? Hello, you're on the air. Okay, that's area code 718. You're going to play possum on me? Okay, that's okay. You can still tune in and listen. Ryan. Okay, we'll get back to you.
Yeah.
Maybe 718 will talk to me in a few minutes. But here's the deal.
Okay.
You've gone to this very most prestigious college, Emerson. To get in, you got to audition. You just can't walk up in there and say, I want
That's
one
right.
day and say, I want to be an actress. Oh no, it doesn't go
Right.
like that. You've got to audition. You've got to go through
That's right.
you've got to go through the fire, as they say. So you come out.
That's right.
You've got this wonderful opportunity to showcase your skills, your talent, your writing, your actress. You're strikingly beautiful. Okay.
Thank you.
That picture
Thank
picture that you gave to me, I'm like, if nobody wants to respond to this, they're blind. Even Stevie Wonder can see this. Okay.
Thank you.
and that's really when I first met you. We were at Riverside Theater, And so I'll tell this brief little short story before we get to the break. I met you and you weren't doing acting, you weren't dancing, you weren't writing, you were actually doing marketing for a ballet or a dance company. And I said,
That's right.
Oh my goodness, what is this stunningly beautiful woman over here doing? She's over here marketing. And then the truth came out, and it was like, you're from Washington? Homie, don't you know me?
Right,
and so
right.
we hit it off immediate. Listen, I got to take a break. We're going to come back, and we're going to continue this discussion. I got a little bit more history to share with you, Riyan, because you're standing on the shoulders of some brilliant women in film. And you're listening to the BCS Experience on the GoPro Radio Network. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Self-prepared tax.
GoPro Radio, the fastest growing network in the galaxy, is leaner and meaner with a new attitude, new technology, and a brand new lineup. Tune in and get wired every Wednesday, starting at 5 p.m. Eastern with the BCS Experience featuring Byron C. Saunders, formerly of New York City's WBAI. Then at 6 p.m., it's the Black Agenda TV Express featuring sought-out political commentator Glenn Ford, formerly of America's Black Forum. Then at 8 p.m., it's time for Kay Thompson Live with the legendary radio host Kay Thompson of Inner City Broadcasting's WLIB and her son, renowned actor Eric Payne, who starred in such films as Spike Lee's Do the Right Thing, Drop Squad, and many more. Then at 9 p.m., it's Food Rap featuring Nina Markel, a.k.a. the unofficial mayor of Jersey City, and former Viacom marketing guru Shauna Glover. Last but not least, at 10 p.m. Eastern, it's The Sexy Party Show with the bad boy of dating Mr. Locario of I Love New York fame and his partner in crime, Miles Cunningham. So get wired every Wednesday from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern only on the GoPro Radio Network, www.goproradio.com. Listen to the voices in your head.
You're listening to content developed by the GoPro Radio Network, the fastest growing network in the galaxy. GoPro Radio Network. Listen to the voices in your head.
All right, we're back on the BCS Experience. Hey, I'm Byron C. Saunders, your host with the most, and I got the lovely, the vivacious, the very talented Riyan Fergins on the phone with me, sharing her story. That's because tonight we're listening to the new breed that's coming into filmmaking. It's incredible that we have some brilliant filmmakers on the horizon here. Riyan just happens to be one of them. But before we get back, let me share this piece of history with you. Because Riyan is standing on the shoulders of brilliant women who gave and paved the way for Riyan to succeed. Now here's the date. It's June the 10th. It's 1895. You see, this date marks the birthday of Hattie McDaniel in 1895. Now she was an African American actress, one of the greatest American character actresses we've ever had. Hattie McDaniel was born in Wichita, Kansas. She dropped out of school in 1910 to join a minstrel show and toured with minstrel shows and the vaudeville circuit until the onset of the Depression. McDaniel spent about a year singing in Milwaukee before moving to Los Angeles. There, her brother found a part for her on a radio show called The Optimistic Do-Nuts. Hattie's had a film debut in 1932 singing a duet with none other than Will Rogers in the 20th Century Fox film Judge Priest. She appeared in many films for the remainder of the 1930s and on through the 40s and performed on numerous radio shows, including on The Eddie Cantor Show and, of course, Amos and Andy. In 1939, Hattie McDaniel won the Best Supporting Actress Academy Award for her performance as Mammy. Yes, right, you know her in Gone with the Wind. Other significant roles include Queenie in Universal's 1936 production of Showboat and Emily Hawken in Selznick's Since You Went Away. In 1947, she found a regular part on radio in The Beulah Show. And in 1951, the show left the radio in favor of television, and Hattie stayed with the show until her death from breast cancer at the age of 57 in 1952. Now you see, you thought that the only thing she did was Gone with the Wind. And she did, yes she did, win Best Supporting Actress. Oh my goodness. Riyan, I know you've seen Gone with the Wind more than once.
It's one of my favorite films, and I'm not ashamed to say it.
Okay.
It's one of my favorite films.
So what are you working on?
And I'm a huge Hattie McDaniel fan.
Okay. Well, see there, I mean, and we have to remember the roots of where we come from and whose shoulders we are standing on. She paved the way for us, and it wasn't easy.
Right. And I respect that so much.
Absolutely. So,
it actually breaks my heart when I hear young actresses or actors really try to discredit these older performers for what they were doing, because that was the work that was available at the time, and they did it with such dignity and grace. I would never take that away from Hattie McDaniel. I think she's brilliant, and I love her. I just love her work.
Well, great. Now, see, because you're standing on those shoulders, Riyan. You are the next breed. You're the next generation. So, what are you working on that we should look forward to? Because your background, your credits are astonishing to be so young, and yet the world is still ahead of you. So, what are you working on these days?
Thank you for calling me young, because there's some days where I feel like I'm running to catch up. But I didn't get to mention before, I actually just a couple years ago wrapped up production on my first film, Filter, which was about body dysmorphic disorder. And if you go on IMDb and you Google it or you look up Filter, you can find out more information about it. It ended up winning an award at the Columbus International Film and Video Festival.
Okay.
So right now I'm working on trying to get funding based off of some of that steam from my last project, get funding for another film that I'm working on now. And it's going to be a vignette of various shorts. So I'm excited about it. I'm finishing up the writing process on it and hoping to move into pre-production pretty soon.
Now, with respect to the funding side of this, you're a producer.
Right.
You're a producer, you're a writer, you're behind the camera, in front of the camera, in the office. You're multi-talented, you're multitasking. How does one do all of this to get that project off the page, as we say, onto the film itself? How do you do that?
Oh my God. It's different every time.
Yes.
And that's one of the great things that I did learn watching people at Emerson and pulling various professors to talk to them. And I actually consulted some of them for my projects post-college. I know for this one, I'm going to go a different route. I'm going to go to private people and to people who have different investments in New York City, since it will be filmed in New York. And I know that there is a push to have more films done in New York. So there are people who are looking for projects that fit into whatever scope they want to support. So I'm going to go that route. But before, it was a matter of finding various grassroots campaigns, getting people involved who did not mind only getting paid a flat payment of $500 to work a camera for 2 weeks or a week and a half.
All right.
And that's one thing that I did find about New York that I loved, which would have probably been different had I moved to LA and tried filmmaking in LA. People in New York want to work on projects they believe in, and money is not the first priority, because it's hard to live in New York anyway.
Yes, it is.
So you're going to be broke regardless. So if you do have a project, that really gets to flex your artistic muscle and does get to tell a story that hasn't been told, or from a perspective that's not been seen or heard, people do want to jump on and be on board. So the last film was only shot for no more than $6,500 roughly.
Yes.
So it wasn't hard to get that kind of funding. It was just grassroots, tapping people. I initially started off on Kickstarter. When I realized that Kickstarter wasn't going to be a benefit to me, I had to take it off Kickstarter and just start over from scratch. I reached out to, because of the topic being body dysmorphic disorder, and I'll just give like a 10-second background on what body dysmorphic disorder is. It's a compulsive disorder which is often related to eating disorders like anorexia or bulimia, but it isn't. It's when a person fixates on a fixates on a particular part of their body or facial feature and sees it as it actually isn't. So it could be a nose, it could be your nose, it could be your mouth, it could be one of your ears. They notice a deformity and they go through extreme measures to change that deformity. So if said person has money, it could be extreme plastic surgery. If the person doesn't have money, it could actually be self-mutilation and self-harm just to change it.
Yeah.
So I did a lot of research on this topic. For some reason, it was just a topic that spoke to me, especially in light of Michael Jackson's death and the way we decided to, or the way we did a post-mortem just on his life. And we started to dissect how he was turned into the person that he became.
That's right.
And one of the aspects was about his nose, however he was shamed about that facial feature, how correcting it really took over his life. And you can see from childhood to, his death, all the different changes that went into his nose. So that's something that hurt my heart. And I just started to research and find what's going on with that, how many people in the world are suffering from it. And apparently there were only 10 doctors in the world who specialize in this disorder. Wow. So I reached out to them. I sent them business proposals and packets and said, hey, this is a project I'm working on, and I'm doing it from the perspective of somebody suffering from disease in a non-judgmental way. I'm not going to be preaching. It's just going to be putting someone in their shoes for a day. And I got feedback from some people, and it was great. So there was a network outside of Kickstarter, and I'm sure now a famous complaint you'll hear from upcoming filmmakers like myself is that Kickstarter isn't even for us anymore.
It is. It has its. It has its limitations.
If Spike Lee can go on it and Zach Braff can go on it, it's not for us anymore.
Right. Well, the thing is, and this is something to consider. We here at GoPro Radio Network, produced by BW Moving Images. You know what we do here? We produce independent films, documentaries. We do that kind of work that you are investing your time and effort in. It's time that we get back together to the businesses that are in our community, because we're here. We need to start supporting each other. And I'm going to ask the question, because I got another piece of history for you, but I wanted to ask this question. It's been on my mind for a while now, especially in our business.
Sure.
The ethics of what we do. Is there such thing as an honest business? Do we always have to pervert it and go dark just to get our project and our visions made? That's a heavy, heavy question. Because
I am so sorry, Byron. You were going in and out with my phone. Could you repeat it?
I said,
I'm so sorry.
The ethics of what we do. Is there such thing as an honest business? Do we always have to go dark and pervert it to get our projects and our visions made?
Ooh.
Okay?
Ooh.
Do you have to sell your soul to the devil to get that project made?
Wow.
Some folks will call it prostitution.
Really question,
That's
Byron.
right. Some people will call it prostitution because what happens.
You know what? Without actual sex being involved, sure, there's a level of prostitution and prostituting your soul that happens.
Well, listen.
In this industry.
Listen to this piece of history. This is another one of those women whose shoulders you're standing on. That in the next 2 minutes, because I got another break coming up. But here's the date. It's October the 31st, 1896. I'm still in the 1800s, folks. This date marks the birth of Ethel Waters. In 1896, she was an African-American entertainer, vocalist, and actress. Born in Chester, Pennsylvania, Waters went to New York City in 1919 after singing and dancing on the East Coast and the Southern Vaudeville and Cabaret Circuit, also known as the Chitlin Circuit. Due to her slender appearance, she was billed as Sweet Mama Stringbean. In 1921, she cut 2 songs for Cardinal Records and became the first artist to release a blues record on the black-owned Black Swan label, recording Down Home Blues and Oh Daddy. With smooth, well-defined phrasing and a meticulous sense of timing, the singing style of Ethel Waters rated with the best of the era's vocalists.
By the mid-1920s, Waters had stopped singing the blues. Her style changed to that of a successful pop singer. Waters performed in a number of revues, including Africana, Paris Bound, and the Ethel Waters Broadway Revue. In 1929, she landed her first acting role in the film On the Show. She appeared in Pinky in 1949, which won her an Oscar nomination for Best Supporting Actress. And on Broadway, Ethel Waters appeared in Mamba's Daughters, though her greatest theatrical achievement was in 1950 when she played a cook in the play The Member of the Wedding and won the New York Drama Critics Award for Best Actress. She penned 2 autobiographies, His Eye is on the Sparrow and To Me It's Wonderful. Ethel Waters also toured with evangelist Billy Graham from 1957 until her death in 1977. Wow, what a history. We'll be right back, Ryan, because we're going to get even deeper with your film projects. This is Byron Saunders on the BCS Experience. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
The views and opinions expressed on GoPro Radio Network shows are solely those of the speakers and are not necessarily the views or opinions of GoPro Radio Networks, Inc. or its affiliates. These broadcasts are provided on the understanding that they do not constitute professional advice or services. Individuals who speak in these broadcasts express their own opinions, experiences, and conclusions. GoPro Radio Networks and its affiliates do not necessarily endorse or oppose any particular opinion or conclusion discussed in these broadcasts. You may not edit, modify, or redistribute these broadcasts in any way without the express permission of GoPro Radio Networks, Inc. GoPro Radio Networks assumes no liability for any of your activities in connection with these broadcasts or for your use of these broadcasts in connection with your website, computer, or playing device.
You're listening to content developed by the GoPro Radio Network, the fastest growing network in the galaxy. GoPro Radio Network. Listen to the voices in your head.
All right, we're back on the BCS Experience. I'm Byron C. Saunders here. Listen, you know about GoPro Radio, don't you? All right, this is how we sustain ourselves. We're listener sponsored. My show is on this air because you show me love through your donations. You want to know how we continue to make that happen? Just go to GoProRadio.com and you see where that box is. It says donations. Click on it. Be generous. Show me some love, because I keep showing you lots of love every week. I've got great hosts, great stories, great history. You know how we keep it real, keep it live, keep it going? Hey, this Underground Railroad is stopping in your neighborhood. Now, help us support it. Keep it alive. Make that donation. And when you click that donation box, also indicate you're wanting to make it for the BCS Experience. All right, I appreciate you. Show me some love. I'll show you lots of love. All right, one more thing. Hey, disappearing voices. The decline of black radio. That's what we do here. BW Moving Images and Tylon U. Xavier Washington and Ayanna Jones have produced this amazing, amazing documentary on the decline of black radio in our communities. We need to know about this. If it hadn't been for black radio, much of what we have achieved over the years would not have been done. Thank you. Get this. Put it into your collection. And if you go to pick it up, go to bwmovingimages.com. And if you mention that you got it by way of the BCS Experience, I'll make sure it's even autographed by the filmmakers themselves. They would love to put their autograph on it. And when they do, believe me, this item will become even more incredible and more important, because with the autograph it increases in value. So it's only $19.99. And one more thing, On the Move, sounds inspired by Mumia Abu Jamal. We produce that here as well. You see, you just can't have the radio show without the producers. BW Moving Images. Get it. Put it into your collection. Okay, we're back on the BCS Experience. I got the very talented Riyan Fergins on the phone with me. Riyan.
Hi.
Are you having fun?
I'm having a great time. Yes.
Excellent.
I'm having lots of fun.
Now you come from
That last question
Yes.
was a great question. I'm still chewing on that question.
All right, so you want to jump in? Talk to me about it, because the question,
Right,
folks,
so-
is this. I asked the question before the break. Is there any such thing as an honest business? We just got through having the Golden Globe Awards, okay?
Mhm.
And the only film in that entire awards program that deserved it, in my opinion, because it was honest, it was real, it was truthful, and that's 12 Years a Slave. The other films, imagine this. Leonardo DiCaprio, who I love, great artist. I mean, that boy has come a long way. But guess what? He got an award for portraying in The Wolf of Wall Street the most perverted, most disgusting business person that you could possibly have. And that's what Wall Street and Las Vegas is all about. They're nothing but Ponzi schemes. Okay? And we're giving praise and honor to these people. So, Ryan, your new breed.
Mm-hmm.
Can you produce for us the honest documentary, the film? Do you have to sell your soul to get it done?
Well, no, I don't think you have to sell your soul to get it done. And I mean, documentary and narrative are two completely different things. I should hope that all documentaries are honest.
Amen.
Narrative takes a little bit of liberties because it's fiction.
Yes.
And can you hear me still? Because I know
I
my
can hear
phone.
you
Can
loud and clear. Yes, we got you loud
Okay,
and clear.
great. And, you know, I've been watching the award shows with just so much excitement, and I think I see things a little bit differently than you do.
Mhm.
Because to me, artistry is artistry. And if we're telling a story, we're telling a story. We may not like what the story is about, or we may not like the subject of the story, but I think that the stories are important to be
Oh,
told,
yes.
whatever they are. And
No
if
doubt.
the acting's great, then the acting's great. And I felt that DiCaprio deserved his award.
Oh,
Also,
yes.
keep
Oh,
in
it's
mind it's a
taking nothing
Golden
away from
Globe.
it. Oh, yeah.
It's a Golden Globe.
Yes.
Golden Globes are not necessarily about acting. They're only about 48 people who vote on this, and it's the
Right.
Hollywood Foreign Press.
Yes, the foreign
So
press.
you'll see that 12 Years a Slave, which I think is a great film. I've not seen Wolf of Wall Street yet. I'm going to. I did see Dallas Buyers Club, and I
Yes.
loved it.
Yes,
Loved
I
every
hear
minute
it's
of it. I felt
amazing.
that Matthew
McConaughey.
McConaughey and Jared Leto turned out brilliant performances, and they deserve all the accolades that are coming their way too. In 12 Years a Slave, you will see they're winning more of the Critics Awards,
Yes.
and they're winning more of the Critics Awards, and they're winning more of the awards that are specifically about the art and about the work without any other politics involved in it. The Golden Globes has a lot of politics
Oh, it
involved
does.
in it.
Oh, it does
It's
indeed.
a popularity contest.
Yes,
You know,
it is.
it's prom queen.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yes.
So I didn't let any of the upsets of that night get to me, just because I know that there are a lot of other factors going into it. Because of course I was pulling for Lupita because I just thought her performance was just stunning.
Yes.
And I saw Nebraska. I thought June Squibb was great too.
Oh, yeah.
But I was pulling for Lupita because she was just, her performance. I saw that movie 3 times. So,
Well, you
you know,
are to
specifically
be
to
awarded
watch
for even
her,
that.
then to watch, I saw to watch her, then one to see Chiwetel, and then the other one to watch Fassbender, because
Yes.
I think that they're great actors. So I saw it
Absolutely.
twice. Then I saw Dallas Buyers twice.
Okay.
Once for
Okay.
Leto, and the other for McConaughey.
All right.
So I do that. I like to study actors and what they're doing.
All right.
But I wouldn't let the Golden Globes, anything
Oh,
that
well,
comes out
no.
of that.
I asked that
Yeah.
question simply because we've come through so many years of all these awards programs, and each time,
Mm-hmm.
like I just shared with our listeners the fact that these two women, Hattie McDaniel and
Mm-hmm.
you know, got a nomination and won. We have the likes of Ethel Waters, not to mention the likes of Freddie Washington. Freddie Washington. You go back to 1903 when she was born, and this person, a very fair complected African American actress, writer, dancer, and singer, the trail for which she blazed You're standing on those shoulders. We go to
Right.
Butterfly McQueen. Oh my God! I don't more than I know nothing about birthing no babies. Butterfly McQueen led a journey for many actresses to walk down, so that ultimately, when Lupa can win the award, when Hallie can win her award, when Felicia gets her Tony, when oh my God, Cicely walks
It's
away.
amazing. Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's at that point, those artists, those actresses, in my opinion, stepped to the plate and gave more of themselves in the roles that they had to play than most will ever have to engage. And yes, they had to go through some trials and tribulations that a lot of these actors will never ever understand or go through.
That's very true. That's very true.
And so when you, Riyan, step to the plate and get behind the lens to do your work, you walk in that shadow. We want you to succeed. We want your film to be recognized and acknowledged. Otherwise, you wouldn't be doing it. So we're looking forward to that next project that you are crafting. You know, I know you don't want to mention, you don't want to put any bad stuff on it, but you know, the truth is.
I don't like to talk too much about the subject matter.
I understand. I understand. But think about it. Claudia McNeil, Hazel Scott. These are women. You are. I mean, I could go on and on because in about 5 minutes I got to take a break. But ultimately, let's talk about how we're going to get your project off the schneid, as they say, because you need some money. All right? You don't have to be ashamed to say, I need some money. Otherwise,
I need money.
Yes, hello. And
I'm not ashamed.
there you go. There's no shame in this game, folks. But the truth of the matter is,
none.
If we don't ask for it, if we don't put it into the perspective of understanding how to raise the necessary funds to make that vision come true, then it won't get done. So you're going to have, I want you to talk to us. How does one help support Riyan Fergins get her project made? What do we do?
Well, the best way, okay, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay, the best way to do it, especially, you know, for myself or for anyone who is an underground filmmaker or someone who does not have major representation, is to donate to a project in exchange for a production credit.
Yes.
So that your name is attached to that project and you actually are now a part of the film world. You are now a part of the filmmaking process. And that was something that Kickstarter tried to facilitate between the filmmakers and their potential audience, was allowing them to feel included in the project. Now it's changed a bit with that one venue, but it's not changed as far as filmmaking goes. Generally, whenever you go see a movie, the executive producer, the top guy,
Yes.
didn't actually have her or his hand in the actual filmmaking process. They just found ways to get the funds or donated the funds to the project or
Right.
decided to distribute it, which is even more important than putting funds into the project. So basically, I'm looking for an executive producer. I'm looking for someone who can kick funds towards the project,
Yes.
put their name on the project. I have no problem sharing credit
Okay.
since they are,
Good.
contributing to the project.
Yes.
And then that's how it gets off the ground. From there, I have a production company that can hire a director, who can hire a DP, who can get me some APs, who can get me an assistant director that can do all of that. And the filmmaking process, then the grind, the grunt work, that falls on the filmmakers, and we love that.
Yes.
But as far as how anyone in the public can help, if you want to see more stories that come from a different perspective or come from a different end of the spectrum, and I say different end of the spectrum because I spent a long time, for lack of a better word, hating. Hating on the Medea movies, hating on the Chitlin circuit, and I actually feel like that was wasted energy. It's
Yes.
wasted energy because buffoonery permeates all color lines. It does.
Yes, it does.
When I look at movies like Anchorman, when I look at anything that Belushi did or anything that Chris Farley did, it's all considered slapstick buffoonery. And there's no reason why with black representation we can't have that. The problem is right now we're at a place, and it's changing with movies like 12 Years, but right now we're at a place where everything that you see of us is on that end of the spectrum. We're not getting the other side. We're not getting the dramas. We're not getting, if we have a story about somebody coming up in the ghetto, we don't have a story about somebody coming up upper middle class or upper class.
Exactly.
We're not getting a full perspective. And that's something that, as far as white America is concerned, they've always been able to show every end of it. We've seen the people from the quote-unquote wrong side of the tracks in these amazing films, and then we've seen people from the upper echelon in these amazing films. And I feel like if you start, there are more of us now coming up who want to show different sides of it. And if more of us are doing that, and if it is more grassroots funding, it can't be denied. We're not asking anyone's permission to tell our story. We're telling it ourselves now.
Absolutely. Well, listen, we got to take another break.
That's what's important.
You're absolutely right. We got to take another break here. And when we come back, we're going to actually get back into the topic, which is supporting black female filmmakers and the broad spectrum narratives of the black American experience, because the new breed filmmaker, Ioka Chinzira, Julie Dash, your contemporaries, the women who inspire you. Let's talk about that, because that's critically important. You are going to be mentoring someone to come along this route with you, another woman. And let's see how we can help get them to that place where you are. We're looking up to you, Riyan, right here on the BCS Experience on the GoPro Radio Network. So don't go away, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back. And maybe we might even get 718 to talk to us. Who knows? If you want to call in, 347-884-9839. We'll be right back.
We interrupt this broadcast to bring you a great opportunity. If you have a product or service, a talent or something important to say, now's your chance to have your own radio show. Whether you're just starting out or a veteran looking for a professional platform to enhance your presentation, the GoPro Radio Network is the premier place to cultivate and share new and exciting content. We'll help you to grow your audience and keep it growing long after your first broadcast. Now you have a voice. Call 212-696-8562 today or visit www.goproradio.com, and you'll be amazed at how easy and affordable it is to have your own radio show on the fastest growing network in the galaxy. GoPro Radio. Listen to the voices in your head.
You're listening to content developed by the GoPro Radio Network, the fastest growing network in the galaxy. GoPro Radio Network. Listen to the voices in your head.
All right, we're back on the BCS Experience. I've got my great friend, my new friend, Riyan Fergins on the phone. Riyan, did you know that in 1916, the date, it's May the 24th, that is the day the Lincoln Motion Picture Company was founded. On that date in 1960, that was the first movie company owned and controlled by black filmmakers. Oh my goodness.
Wow.
See, the story, the path that has been laid for you, Riyan, and the new filmmakers, you, Ioka Chinzira, Julie Dash, people that have inspired you. How do we fare up? Because in this industry, there are not a lot of women, African American women, or women of color, who are behind the camera or as producers.
I was actually just yesterday looking up all the people. If you go to Wikipedia, they do have a list of black female filmmakers, and
Yes.
just, from the 60s on who've been doing things. And it's important to stay inspired by people who have paved the way for you. But I think for me to stay continually inspired, I have to drink from other wells too.
Absolutely.
I do have to go look at what the men are doing, because I'm inspired by a lot of male filmmakers too. I don't keep it to any one racial perspective. I watch everybody, and I allow that to feed my perspective, so that my perspective is authentically mine, and we can say that this is also another part of the Black experience and bring that into play.
Yes.
So that my work doesn't look like those other two that you mentioned. And you left out Dee Reese,
Dee
and
Reese,
she's doing
right.
great.
Yes, she is.
She's the one who Pariah was her movie a couple of
Yes.
years ago that just took the country by storm.
So what films would you like to see made? You're in the back. You're the writer. What do you want us to see coming next?
I would just like to see less stock characters.
Okay.
And more people who are three-dimensional, beautiful but flawed, and we can see their flaws. I feel like, who was the person? It was Sterling Brown.
Yes.
You're familiar with
Sure.
who gave the 7 characters or 7 types of Black performers or Black actors that we would see. I would like to see that kind of get blown out.
Okay.
I'd love to see that list implode.
Okay.
And we start to bring in new types, because I'll see movies and I'll say to myself, this could have been played by anyone.
Yeah.
Color actually was not important. And I would like to see more of those roles and more of those stories written.
Me too.
For the
Me
rest
too.
of us. And I do think it is a matter, just like Cosby was saying to me years ago, of us doing it ourselves and showing, look, it is bankable when we do it.
That's right.
And then more people will write that.
Okay.
I feel like I got into this because I didn't think anybody else was going to do it for me. Because I wonder if these roles were out there, if I would be writing.
Right.
I don't know. I'm happy and thankful to God that I am writing and that I am doing it. And that I am now feeling like I'm in charge of my own destiny, and that I am putting out stories that are hopefully not just educating people, but entertaining them as well.
Yes.
And that's another aspect I'd like to see. I'd like to see more movies that entertain but do educate.
Well,
not preach.
I understand.
Open up a new perspective, but no preaching.
Well, the thing that I like about the fact that 12 Years a Slave is getting the acclaim it is getting right now. Hosea Williams, one of Martin Luther King's 12 associates. Mm-hmm. He once shared with me and his daughter Elizabeth Omalani. We were graduates from Hampton. We had come back. We went to Atlanta working with the Metro Atlanta SCLC to start a theater company, People Survival Theater. And Hosea said to both Liz and I one day, he said, Byron, Liz, I don't know why y'all keep doing these stories that ain't got nothing to do with nothing. He said, you just take one story from the civil rights movement, and I guarantee you will have a hit for the rest of your life. And I thank 12 Years a Slave for telling us a true story. One that we need to have, and getting back to once we start telling those stories, Ryan, the ethics will start cleaning the business up. I got another caller. Area code 201. Since 718, we're going to give you one more chance, 718, to talk to me. But 201, you're on the line. Welcome to the BCS experience. And who are you?
Hello, Byron Saunders.
This is me speaking. Hello, who are you?
Hello, Kay Thompson here.
Kay Thompson there. Kay is going to come on later on this evening on the Kay Thompson Live Show. Kay, you are my mentor.
Listen, Byron, I just want to compliment you.
Yes.
I cannot stop listening to you. Okay? You were so historically fabulous with every single show that you do.
Thank you,
and I'm
Kay.
urging everyone to make sure that your show is on their calendar.
Thank you.
It's so very, very, very important. But then again, you know how I feel about you.
Well, the love is mutual now. You know that. Watch out now.
Just called to say that.
Yes.
I love Byron Saunders' show.
Thank you, Kay. And don't you enjoy this person, Ryan Fergins? I mean, listen how bright and our future is so bright.
Listen, I didn't get to that. But listen, I'm going to be talking to you more about her, okay?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay?
Definitely.
But I don't want to take up too much time. Just wanted to say that. Love
you.
your show. You keep on doing what you're doing.
Thank you, Kay. You tune into the
You're
Kay
welcome.
Thompson Live Show coming up on the GoPro Radio Network, folks. I'm telling you, we are the fastest growing network in the universe. Listen to the voices in your head. Ryan, I got a couple more minutes left. Come on now, let's give out a website, a contact information, because we got to drive some funds to get your film up, lady. Come on now, money.
I was hustling today, but sure. If you'd like to contact me, you can reach me at Intervention, INTERVENTION, intervention,
Yes.
intervention.filter, FILTER, @gmail.com, and that's the name of my production company, Intervention, BSRM. You can find me on IMDb by searching either Filter, my last movie, and that'll lead you to me, or by searching me on IMDb, RIAYN, for Riyan, and Fergins, FERGINS,
Yes.
is my last name. I'm working on a website. It's under construction right now. It's going to be changing. It's going to be a full interactive experience where writing pieces are published once a month, and you can actually purchase books online and see clips of video. It's going to be great, but that's not ready just yet. If you would like to actually get a phone, contact me. Perhaps you can talk to Byron, and he can do a little bit of screening and then get you in touch with me. I don't know if you're up for that, Byron.
Oh, that's okay. No, listen, I want people to know your name. You're up and coming. This is how we got to do it. And by promoting you here, we are going to make sure that film is made. Riyan, thank you for being on the BCS Experience. We're going to have you come back. Yes, this is just the beginning, okay? And folks, the BCS Experience is GoProRadio.com, your social network's live talk radio show, produced and sponsored by BW Moving Images. And thank you, my producer, Tylon Eusevier Washington, Ayana L. Jones, Executive Director, my line engineers, Mohammed El Safti, Tatiana, Nina Marcal, Shauna L. Glover. I got a great crew in the booth. Thank y'all. Y'all make me look so good. And a very special thank you to the Jazz Lounge Project and Andrew Julian Myers for my fabulous show's theme music. Hey, tune in next Wednesday when my show, The BCS Experience, will be on live from 5 to 6 p.m. I got great guests coming up. Now, coming up next is the Black Agenda TV Express from 6 to 6:30 with featuring Glenn Boyd, Ayana Jones, and Bruce Dixon. Then following that is the Earl Morgan Hour from 7 to 8. Then Kay Thompson Live from 8 to 9. And then the show Food Wrap from 9 to 10. Before you close your eyes, check in with the Sexy Party Show from 10 to 11. Hey, I'm Byron C. Saunders, and it's been all about the BCS Experience. Join me next Wednesday when my special guest will be you, my listening audience, with another opportunity to appreciate our rich cultural history and learn how it impacts on our lives today. Until then, hey now, I'm out of here. For the moment, peace and love, always.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.